Hello, everyone. Uh, I was debating whether to get on here and do this at all because uh, how this just been going for the last 2 days since I gave the message on the 30th. With this spirit of Jezebel and and fighting with all these other spirits and them sitting and listening in the spirit realm to everything that I'm doing and trying to manipulate it. You know. And one of the women got so mad today, she revealed the sorceress spirit that she operates out of. I was able to hear her voice speak out of me, literally like I'm talking to y'all right now. She was real upset because she knew that she was trying to play me like a puppet and do the evil stuff that she was doing. And I believe this is someone that God's been having me warn for a long time. Um, and I was saying to the Lord, I'm gonna need your help. I know that you want us to love one another. I went to John chapter 13, read verse 34 and 35, and I went to John chapter 14, verse 10, read that, and John 14, verse 21, read that, and John 14, verse 23, read that, and then I looked up uh, where it was that it says, shouldn't we hate the things that God hate? And scriptures that come to me, I took it out and I wrote them down. Uh, I know that one of them was Proverbs chapter 6. And then it was Proverbs chapter 6. Matthew's, can't find a piece of paper. I got it wrote down on. I wrote it down on a piece of paper, but I can't find it. I got it somewhere here, but the other one was in Matthew when it was talking about it. And the other one was in Mark basically was telling us, to be forgiven and to bless them that take and do evil to you and this, that, and the other. So I was looking at both sides of it, from the part in the Bible where it speaks about us, not embracing the evil, and us hating things. Plead the righteous blood of the Lamb of Spirit, us hating the things that God hates. And at the other end, trying to look at the part where it talks about, us, loving one another and blessing those that do evil and whatnot. And I just told the Lord, I'm having a hard time with, forgiving right now, the type of stuff that's being done, because this been going on with me ever since this spirit of Ivan has been able to take in a back and forth back in me. These are people that's operating out of this spirit. And I've told y'all that when it was revealed to me way back in 2012, when I was in the spirit, I was praying like crazy and fasting. That's all I was doing. And I ended up entering into a spirit realm, and I ended up going into a ram. And when I went in there, I entered into this city where it wasn't nothing but a whole bunch of gold pyramids, and these gold pyramids was houses or places that people lived in. And I went into this one pyramid, and it must have been a temple because in this was the spirit of Ivan, spirit of Ra, and the spirit with the diamond-shaped head and white gown. But before I entered into the place where they was, I went past rooms and stuff where orgies and stuff was going on. Now, I don't know understand nothing about this right here until later, that back in the old biblical days, that would be orgies and stuff going on while the priests were taking gather. They had that type of stuff going on. I found this out later. But anyway, I was able to enter into the room where these three spirits was gathered at. And the spirit of Ivan turned around and looked in the scene that I was there and started coming after me. And Bishop Gilbert G. Patterson reached out his hand and pulled me up out of the place where I was. Okay. I gave this testimony many times, but God revealed to me back then in 2012 that 2/3 of the country walk in this spirit of Ivan. And I found out that the spirit of Ivan Ra and the spirit of diamond shaped head, they all link together. It's like the evil trinity. Not only that, I found out that this half man, half bull spirit that I fight with that actually turns into a python spirit. I seen that. I was one day watching Gilbert G. Patterson, and he was preaching, and Bishop was throwing down. I was standing in front of the TV. I had my hands all raised up. I'm listening, I'm praising, listening to what he's saying or whatnot. And he spoke the words that, that every knee shall bow. He was quoting the scripture from out of the Bible about when every knee shall bow. And when he said that, my eyes opened up in the spirit realm to see that half man, half bull spirit that's sitting in me. The spirit fell down to his knees and then turned into a python spirit and slithered away. Now, I found that in mostly all these churches where there's people that's sitting up in church in bondage to the spirit, because God let me go to my aunt's church one day, and her pastor said, everybody that's here, the devil is busy. Get up, start walking around and praising the Lord. So when we all got up, walking around, praising the Lord, speaking in tongues and whatnot, and we ended up coming back to our seat, like I said, my eyes opened up the spirit realm, and I seen a glory cloud following the young boy around the church. And at the same time all this was going on, there was one angelic angel that was up over past their head. And you can see the fiery flames around this angel. And I've seen this angel many times before. I've seen it up over my old pastor, Pastor Grant, before. I've seen this angelic angel coming in churches. And the way that they appear and they come, they have fire all around them. And they had a lot of power. But anyway, that particular day, when all this was going on, there was a sound that started to come up out of me. I now understand it a little bit better than I did now, but I first made or had this same sound come up out of me when I made the first trip up into heaven. And as I went up in there, was going up through this wormhole that was, and then you could see like the electricity that was in this wormhole as I was going up, and you could see the different colors in it. And this wormhole and the color remind me of the gown that I seen the angel had on that come into the church, a Waterfall Baptist Church. The wormhole resembles it a little bit. Anyway, make a long story short, as I was going up through this wormhole, I noticed that it was something on each side of me. I now understand that it was two angels. And as I was going up, I was hearing this sound, and I kept on saying, this ain't from this world, this ain't from this world, this ain't from this world, this ain't from here. And I ended up going up, and I finally got there. When I come back down, I didn't understand that it was tongues. But I went to speaking in a sound or in a language that I didn't understand. And that went on almost all that day to the point where I couldn't stop it. And, my aunt was sitting at the table, and my sister / first cousin sitting at the table. My grandma was sitting on the couch. They used to be over there. And, and my sister Sean, she just went, go ahead, prophesy. I'm looking at her, I got my face like, I'm looking at her like, what the hell is you saying? Something wrong with me. Help me. But I didn't understand what was going on. But anyway, this same sound I was making in my aunt's church before someone had came and laid their hands on me. And just before they had did that, I had seen a white net drop into the church. And whatever power this white net had, it started pulling these half-man, half-bull spirits up out of people in the church. I seen them going into the net, and right after that, the person came and laid hands on me. And that's the truth. But anyway, I'm on here right now because I keep on not being able to take and let this go. And yeah, I'm finna talk about numbers again, because this is a big, huge sign. And it leads to everything that I've been doing in the last 4 or 5 years. Run right back to it. And God will speak to you. I'm learning He'll speak to you in a way that you will understand. And He speaks to me through numbers, letters, and words when they come together. That's when it's the loudest to me. Okay? It's just like a voice that speaks to me. And I've been trying to let this go because I know that the enemy wants to take and use it too. And I know that I am not in that place that I used to be with God. Okay? And I'm trying to get back there. I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to pray more. I'm trying to read more. I'm trying to do the things that I know that it takes to get in His presence, because He make it clear. If you believe in my word and you let my word abide, you let me read it, just to let my tongue get tired and me twist and stuff. Let me just say, we're going to go to John chapter 14, and we're going to read verse 21 and verse 23. And it says right here, thank you, Lord. It says, John 14, verse 21, he that has my commandments and keepeth them, he it is that loveth me. And he that loveth me shall be loved of my Father, and I will love him, and I will manifest myself to him. Now watch what brings the manifestation on. If we go to verse 23, he makes it clear they keep His commandments and they love, right? He makes it clear. And then if you go right here to verse 23, he say, Jesus answered and said unto him, if a man loves me, there go to love again, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come unto him and make our abode with him. Okay? Now, I know that God the Father and the Son hasn't came and made their abode with me, because when they had came and made their abode with me, these spirits weren't able to do what they're doing right now. I'm telling y'all they wasn't. As you see these spirits outside the body, see these spirits, and people's spirits were literally manifesting on other people. I done had this happen to me where spirits have spoken out of people telling me that I can't run. I could run, but I can't hide. And at the time that it was doing this, all I was doing was seeking God. And the spirits would speak out of people in other voices. Did it out of my aunt. Did it out of a guy that I worked for when I worked for this lady named Miss Sims, and it did it out of someone. It happened. This didn't happen to me more than one time. I done been sitting next to people and turn around and seen what I want to say. This was like a dragon-like spirit, because you can see the eyes and the way that the eyes was in the person when you would see them. I done seen where I'm looking at this beautiful woman. Beautiful. And I'm looking at her and whatnot, and my eyes open up in the spirit realm to see the spirit that was really there. And it was the Jezebel spirit. The Jezebel spirit is actually a spirit that is like gray-like. It has both genitals, and its hair, the hair on it, instead of being a hair, there's many little serpents tied to the head. You got the breasts of a woman, you got both genitals, and it's gray. Okay. Anyway, make a long story short, I can go on and on about different things, but I want to get back to this with Luke and signs and symbols for the conscious mind. Now, I wrote down the times, and this goes to show how I've been fighting with this, because I wasn't gonna get on here and do this. Now I can't find the notes that I done wrote down. Other than that, Lord, is you telling me to let this go? Because I know I wrote down the notes. Now I can't find them nowhere. Spirit of Ivan is present in a big, big way. You are foul, wicked, and evil spirit. I plead the righteous blood of Jesus Christ on me, and I want nothing to do with you. Okay, here go the scriptures that I looked up. Luke chapter 6, verse 27 to 28. Matthew chapter 5, verse 43 and 44. You know, that talks about us loving and being forgiven. Proverbs chapter 6 talks about the things that God despise. Numbers chapter 11 talks about the things that God don't like. John chapter 15 talks about that as well. But I was looking for something because I had the actual times in here that you would be able to take and go and look on the other videos and see. Okay, here we go right here. Now, if we go to the video that I just did on the 30th, and we go to 17 minutes, 21 seconds into the video, I start speaking about Genesis 4 and 6. And it's real important, okay? If we go to the video and we look at it, 22 minutes, 48 seconds into the video, I start speaking about the 777. 23 minutes, 30 or 31 seconds into the video, I start speaking about the 137. Real important. Now, if we pay attention to what I'm getting ready to say and getting ready to do here, we will hear God speaking through us in a powerful way through a worldly event, okay, or through worldly things. Now, if we pay attention, come on, Lord, help me. If we pay attention to how this went on 9:30, the day that I took and I posted the video, on 9:30 in the midday, the number 655 came out, okay? In the evening, the number 133 came out. I need y'all to write this down so y'all can see where it is. I'm going to go with this so y'all can understand it. In the midday, 655 came out. In the evening, 133 came out. And then the very next day, the number 646 came out. Okay? So now we finna take and we finna go backwards with this. The number 646 was where I was taking, and I'm not gonna sit up and say that I knew I didn't. I got guided back to it. Okay, I got back to it yesterday, but I want to come over here and give it yesterday. Got it back to it yesterday to let me know that because that's the last 7. 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 6 is 16. 1 plus 6 breaks down to 7. That's a 7. We finna find here that we get 3 7s from out of these 3 numbers. 133 equals 7. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 3 is 7. That's 2 7s. 655 equals 6 plus 5 is 11, plus 5 is 16. That breaks down to the same thing, to 7. You have 777. 22 minutes, 48 seconds into the video on the 30th, I speaks about the number 777. And I show y'all where it's at. But let me stay right here in this where I start speaking about in 17 minutes, 21 seconds to the video, I speak about Genesis 4 and 6. So let's go to Genesis 4 and 6. And I'm finna show y'all something. Okay? Major sign. Because I start speaking about that. Genesis 4 and 6 says, and the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance falling? God was trying to warn Cain that if he wasn't careful, that sin was knocking at his door and the fall was going to come. Just like he's trying to warn us. Just like he's trying to warn us. If we don't be careful, a big fall is going to come. Now watch this, verse 7, he say, if thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? If thou does not well, sin lies at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, sin's desire, and thou shalt rule over him. So this sin will rule over it, but we need to go back to 4 and 6. Now remember, the last 7 showed up yesterday when the number 646 come out. Now if you go to chapter 4, verse 6, you get the number that came out yesterday in the midday, but you get it another way. Now watch this. 4th chapter, 6th verse, that's 4 and 6. The first 6 words before you get to the comma, God say, the Lord said unto Cain, okay? And the Lord said unto Cain, and 1, the 2, Lord 3, said 4, on 2, 5, Cain 6. So you get the number 466. That's the number, it's a 3-way number. But watch this. The number that come out yesterday shows up in this verse 5 times. All the times, all the years I've been doing this, I've never seen this. Out of all the verses I did, I've never seen this. The number is in here 5 times. 466 is one of the 3 ways that number show. The number came 646, real important. I'm going to go on straight to that. I'm not going to show y'all all 5 times that's in it. I'm just going to show y'all show it to y'all 3 times. Because we know God do 3 and 3. So you got the number 466 with the chapter, the 6th verse, and the first 6 words. That's 466. It's a 3-way number, so that's one of the ways. Now here we go. Finna show it to you again. You got the verse, right? 6. You got the first 6 words, 6. And then it's 22 letters making up the first 6 words. So now you got the number 664. That's 2 ways. Now I'm going to skip on showing you how I showed in the middle. And matter of fact, I can't skip on showing you in the middle. I'm going to show you that, then I'm going to show you the big one. Now in the middle, now let's go on. In the middle, it got right here. It got in the middle. It say, messing up. Slow down. Oh, I went up too far. Okay, in the middle, it got right here. It say, why art thou wroth? Okay. Question mark. Yeah, it's a question because it stopped. Why art thou wroth? Now he says this in 4 words. Pay attention. He says this in 4 words. So here it is. You got the verse. Pay attention. You got the verse. You got the 4 words. So that's 6-4. That's 15 letters. 15 breaks down to 1 plus 5 is 6. So you got the actual number that came yesterday. 646. Okay, y'all saying, no, I showed it to y'all 3 times. Now watch, I'm getting ready to show it to y'all 4 times. The 4th time is the most powerful way that it showed. The most powerful way that it showed. Okay? We got the actual number that come out yesterday in the middle already. 646. Now watch how the whole verse shows the number. And the Lord God said unto Cain, 6 words. The middle part, why art thou wroth? Why art thou wroth? 4 words, okay? And why is thy countenance falling? 6 words. And why 2 is thy 4 countenance 5 falling 6. You have that whole verse. That whole verse makes up the number 646. I showed it to y'all 4 times. Okay? So somebody saying, why you? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. Philip, since we already here. Okay. Now, the middle, you got the number. You got 4 words. Okay, and then you got 15 letters from out of the 4 words that breaks down to 6. So you got the number 46. The end part, the second half, right? Second half of this It's 6 words. So you had a number 466. That's 5 times. We talk about the number 5 in that video. Talked about the number 5 in the video Saturday. Talked about the number 5 in the video Friday. 5 times this shows up in that 5. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 4, but 5. 5 times this number shows up in there. But the whole makeup of the verse, 3 parts. There go the number 3. 3 parts. And the 3 parts, the way the 3 parts breaks down, you get the number 6, 4, 6. 6, 4, 6 came out straight yesterday. And when it came out, I got guided right back to this verse. And that's the truth. I said, okay, well, I didn't already did this over and over. So, I'm going to go ahead and let it go. Okay? But that ended up having me to go to what God got me reading every day. He has me reading this 3 times a day, Jeremiah chapter 7. Okay? 3 times a day for 7 days. And then after that, I'm gonna keep on reading Jeremiah chapter 7 and 1 Samuel chapter 3. Even after that, but doing these 7 days 3 times a day. Now, we ask, why would you get back on and say the same thing to us about the same thing Titus in when you already said there ain't that enough? But look at what this is what God do. Watch this. Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 13. You got the 7 and the 13. 13-year-old girl killed 7-year-old sister. Okay? Watch this. Now watch what God says. And now because you have done all these works, said the Lord, and I spec unto you. The Lord spec unto you. Rising up early and speaking, but you heard not. And I called you. So he spec unto you and he called. So he did it more than once, right? But you heard not, and I call you, but you answer not. Now here it is. God then spec, rising up early, spec unto you, rising up early, speaking. That's 2. But you heard not, and I call you. That's 3. So here it is, God himself 3 times in this 13th verse, 7th chapter. 13-year-old girl, 7-year-old sister. Break it down, you get the number 74. That's 47 backwards. Okay? You add it together, that's 11. Number 11 means disorder, judgment, mystery, mastery. Okay? Now, let's go to this verse right here. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 25. Now, watch what it says in here. It say, since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Egypt, unto this day have I sent unto you all my servants the prophet. Now watch this. Daily rising up early and seeing them. Daily. The word daily there. Rising up early and sending them. Daily. So daily means every day. So here it is. God did it repeatedly and repeatedly. He didn't send the prophets to warn repeatedly. So by that speaking to me, and this right here come, I say, okay. Only God can have that line up like that. Satan don't want this to line up like that. For God to give me confirmation like that and not get a warning, I would be wrong. Okay, so I'm on here giving this. And I showed y'all 5 times where that number 646 showed up in there. Y'all see me talking about the Genesis chapter 4, verse 6. It's in the video from the 30th. Okay? Not just coming afterwards saying, okay, this, that, and the other. I spoke about it. Y'all got it. Signed. Then spoke about the number 5. Please go and watch the video that Pastor Troy Breyer down there in Texas did about the year 5785. He breaks it down in the Hebrew way about the number 5 and all that. I don't know how to do it. I do what I do in the way that I do it. I'm finna start following him and Perry Stone more. I always learn from the both of them. Okay, but go and watch the video, please, so y'all can get a better understanding of what it is I'm trying to say to y'all. Okay, now we did that. Okay, y'all see the number showed in that 5 times. Okay, now if you do 5 times, you do 5 times 7. 5 times 7 is 35. Remember the verse 35, right? Luke chapter 1, verse 35. Let's go to Luke chapter 1, verse 35. Okay, come on, Lord. Trying to do this stuff and my head can't. Okay, you gonna help me. Luke chapter 1, verse 35. I talked about that in the video, okay? And the angel answered and said unto her, the Holy Ghost shall come upon thee, and the power of the highest shall overshadow thee. Therefore also that the holy thing which shall be born of thee shall be called the Son of God. Now, in that speaking about how God want to feel the man again. That's in that video. Now, God is telling Cain in this verse, why is his countenance falling? He warned them by saying, and he telling him, if you take and do this, I will accept you and embrace you just like Abel. So same thing that I'm getting ready to do or want to do in Abel or doing in Abel, I'll do in you too. But you got to open up your heart to me. Okay? Anyway, let's move on to, we going backwards, okay? 646 was the last number to come out, okay? All right? That breaks down to 7. 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 6 is plus 6 is 16. 16 breaks down to 7. Now remember in Luke, one of the verses that we was told to read was verse 16. Now the 16th verse say, and many of the children of Israel shall ye turn to the Lord their God. Okay, talking about John the Baptist. He was filled with the Holy Spirit. Remember, God is saying how he want to fill me. Okay, now let's go to the number that came out in the evening. Now we need to catch this. The number that came out in the evening was the middle number, 133. Now, if we go to the 133rd verse in the Bible, the 133rd verse in the Bible is Genesis chapter 5, verse 27. Now, it reads, and all the days of Methuselah were 906 and 9 years, and he died. That's that 969 that I've been trying to tell y'all about. Okay? That number, when you take and you break it down, 9 plus 6 is 15, plus 9 is 24. We in the year of 24. Okay? All right? We in the year of 2024, right? You take and break 24 down, that's 6. Okay? We know that 6 reflects men and reflects sin as well. Where did the fall come? In Genesis 3 and 6. Okay? Now, what I want to try to do is to do this. This right here, if you pay attention, Methuselah lived 969 years old. Methuselah was alive during the time of the flood in Noah. We in the days of Noah. I've been trying to tell y'all about the 969. Now, that's the middle verse. So here it is, we got a warning. Here it is, we got a warning. Because Methuselah, remember I told you that was being run back to me about Cicely Tyson. She died at 96 and 2 other people did too. And I was saying another 333 is in the middle of that. Okay, anyway. The 133 verse is Genesis 5 and 27. Genesis 5 and 27 speaks about Methuselah, the oldest living person in the Bible that was alive during the days of Noah before the flood. 133 breaks down to what? 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 3 is 7. So that's the second 7. Okay? Now, here it is. The first number that came out that gave us the first 7 was 655. Now, I'm going to deviate a little bit to bring us back around. Now, the flip side to the number 655 is the number 665. I did that thing on Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 1, where I showed y'all the 665, and I took y'all all through the Bible, all the way from Genesis, coming all the way up to Revelation, and showing y'all how that number was connected straight to heaven. The flip side to 665 is 655. Now, show y'all what God is speaking in a powerful way. Let's go to the 655th verse. Okay? The 655th verse is Genesis chapter 24. Get this, please. Chapter 24, verse 63. Now, before I get ready to get over to, I need y'all to get this right now. Get this part right now. I've been talking to y'all about the year of 69. Watch this. 24 breaks down to 6. 63 breaks down to 9. You get the number 69 right there. That's next year, 57, 86, is the year to 69. I've been talking about, I ain't just talking about, I've been talking about it for at least 4 or 5 years. Easily on video. It's been was revealed to me even before then. About 6, 7 years before then. Off of this chart that I made. Okay, my uncle was still alive when it was revealed. He died in 2017, and I found him a couple of years before then. So this, been revealed to me, been talking about it. Okay, now the 655th verse reads, and Isaac went out to meditate in the field, and at the evening tide, now watch this, and he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels was coming. And behold, the camels was coming. Now, there's a place in the Bible where it speaks about the camels. And this was when Jacob was trying to make things right with Esau, and Richard Roberts preached about, anytime when you hear about the camels coming, that got to talk about blessings and rewards and all this, that, and the other. I used to know that by heart, and I should know it. It's in Genesis 43, I believe it is. And in that it's Genesis 32. Genesis 32, I believe it is. Genesis 32. Come on, Lord. Yeah, because I got to get ready to get off here. But this thing only record for me. Genesis 32, and he said, okay, right. Genesis 32, verse 15. 30 milk camels with their coats, 40 kine and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses and 10 foals. Now, the first thing mentioned was the milk camels, okay? Now, if you break this down, this is in chapter 32, which breaks down to 5. So we got the 5, right? Now, it says this in 17 words, right? But in verse, come on, Jesus. But in verse 15 breaks down to 6. 17 breaks down to 8. We in the year 67, which is the year of 24. What comes after 67? 68. Now, it's talking about blessings here. Okay? You also start off with the chapter being 32, which breaks down to 5. Mercy, grace, and truth. Okay, I can't spend long on this because I need to get on off it. So here it is. We have the number 655 being chapter 24, verse 63, right? And Isaac look up and he sees the camels coming. Now this is powerful right here. The very next verse is the 656th verse, which is the one of the three-way numbers that's in the number 655. But look what's in this verse, because this is connected to the 655. You got a front half and a back half of the number. Anybody know anything about numbers know that, okay? Now, Look what it says in here. And this is verse 64 in chapter 24. You break the 24 down, you get a 6. You add the 6 on to the 64, you get that number again, 664. Pay attention. Look what this 64 verse says. And Rebekah lifted up her eye, and when she saw Isaac, she lighted off the camel. Who was Rebekah? She was a bride to Isaac, to the promise. We need to get this. She was the bride. So what is really being said here? God is speaking to his bride about things to come. And he's also talking about a birthing out of the womb. How can you say that? Here you go. Let's go to chapter 25, verse 6. Now pay attention to this. Verse 6. But unto the sons of the concubine, which Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts and sent them away from Isaac his son, while he yet lived eastward unto the east country. Verse 6. Now watch this. Let's go down to verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in that womb, birthing, and two manners of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Okay? Now, the very next verse, watch this, 24. When her days to deliver were fulfilled, behold, there was twins in her womb. And when I was praying, I was told to remember that, the story about the story about Jacob and Esau, how one had a heart and a love for the things of God and the other one didn't. And to take and reflect on the story of Cain and Abel, same thing. One of them had a heart and a love for the things of God and one didn't. Okay? But if you look at this and you go to this next chapter, you go to verse 6, then you go to verse 23, then verse 24, you get the numbers. Watch this. 6, 23 breaks down to what? 5. So you get 6, 5. 24 breaks down to what? The number what? 6. A reflection of the 656 verse when the bride finally lays her eyes on her husband, and her husband finally lays his eyes on her. Okay? Let's do it this way. So in here, you get the 656. Okay? Now, if you take and you do it from the middle verse, which is 25. Okay? If you take and do it from the middle verse, which is 23, forgive me. Middle verse, which is 23, you'll get 23 breaks down to 5. It's said in 41 words, that breaks down to 5. Then the next verse, when he's talking about twins in her womb, that's 24, which breaks down to 6. You get the 6, 5, 5, backwards 5, 5, 6. You say, okay, how can you just start from the middle and do that? We ain't going to do that. We're going to start from the 6th verse, and we're going to go again. And watch we get the same number. Verse 6, where it's talking about, and unto the sons of the concubine, Abraham, concubine which Abraham gave gifts and sent them away from Isaac his son while he yet lived eastward onto the east country. Now we're going to the middle verse. Now watch this, 20, which is 23. And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in that womb, okay? And two manners of people shall be separated from their bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder should serve the younger. Now, 23 breaks down to 5. And said in 41 words, that breaks down to 5. You get the number 655. So what do all this got to do with this? If we pay attention to the sequence of the message, go back to 2023 and watch all that I did from the messages in 2023 that had to do with this, and you will see how those messages is still talking. They still talking. Right now, matter of fact, they're hollering right now. But let's just do this. From those 3 numbers, 655, the final number is 7. From 133, the final number is 7. From 646, the final number is 7. So we got 3 sevens, right? 3 sevens were found, and what we go to the message on the 30th, I end up showing y'all where the 13-year-old girl and the 7-year-old sister, when you take and do the numbers 137, the 137th verse is Genesis chapter 5, verse 31. Genesis chapter 5, verse 31 says, and all the days of Lamech were 777 years. You get the 777 in that. There's no coincidence that those 3 numbers in that way broke down the 7 and gave us 3 sevens. There's no way that was a coincidence. Now I'm finna show y'all where God is getting ready to take in. We know God always doing new and great things through us. Okay? And we also know that ain't nothing new under the sun as well. So how can you say God always doing something? Because he's doing it in us in this time, in this area. So even though it's been done, it's new with us because he's doing it in us. And this time in this season hasn't never been before, even though ain't nothing new under the sun. Now, that's a whole nother thing to talk about. So let me get back to this. I just showed y'all how the 777 was right there for the message that I did before these numbers even came together like that. Now we know this 777 is 21. So let's go back, because I'm running out of time. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 25 and watch what God started talking about this and the children. Watch this. Verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived. That was in the 21st verse, forgive me. That was in the 21st verse. 777, 37 equals 21. Just pay attention to the flow of the numbers and let it talk to y'all. He's letting us know that we in the days of Noah. He's backing it up by the letters, the words, and the verse and things that's happening. He's also letting us know, many are going to conceive. Not saying I heard Sister Victoria Renzi speak about God already doing these things already. I know she know because she out taking and doing it. She's seeing it. I'm not. Okay, all I know is what I'm picking up on, what I'm being told, and what I'm finding. So I'm like, is it happening now? Is it happening then? Because it's something that she getting ready to do over in the UK. I wish I can be there in person. Because I know that she be serious about what she do. Look, a little half pint of power. I don't mean to be offensive to your daughter no type of way. You know what I mean, Lord. Little petite sister, and she be about it. She bring joy to me when I listen to it. But if we just paying attention to how this is lined up, that wasn't no coincidence, y'all. No coincidence. Okay? And then the last number that ended up coming yesterday if we pay attention to that, after that, it was 5, 7, 0. The 7 was in the middle. Remember, I always told you about the middle? Now look how God come right back again today and get confirmation again about that 7 in the middle. Remember my first time I showed or got to talk about the 7 was the 16th verse breaking down the 7. Go and watch the video. And that was the middle with the 8, 7, 8. Now watch this. The number that come today, 3, 7, 8. 7 in the middle. Okay? So that's 2 7s in the middle and then 3 numbers that made up 7. That's 5 7s. That's 35 again. What did he say in verse 35? I'm going to read that, then I'm getting off here. What was said in Luke chapter 1, verse 35? Let's see what was said in Luke chapter 1, verse 35. Let's go one up and one down. Verse 34, then said Mary unto the angel, how shall this be, seeing I know not a man? Verse 35, then the angel answered and said unto her, the Holy Ghost shall come upon thee, and the power of the highest shall overshadow thee. Therefore also the holy thing which shall be born of thee shall be called the Son of God. Going down one. And behold, thy cousin Elizabeth, she has also conceived a son in her old age. And this is the 6th month with her, who was called barren. Okay? So that's just me going one up and one down. Now, I'm going to say this, then I'm going to get off of here. Remember that I was given 3 verses, verse 8, verse 16, and verse 26. Now, verse 26, it says, in the 6th month, here we go with that again, in 6 months, the angel Gabriel sent from God unto a city called Galilee, named Nazareth. Now, that was the last verse that I was saying. This is said in 19 words, but the 19 words got 78 letters, right? This got 2 parts, okay? The 2 and 19 equals 21. 21 breaks down to 3. You add the 3 with the 78 letters, you get the number 378. Come out straight today. I'm gone. Love y'all. Have a blessed day.